Let's go.
Wednesday afternoon.
Turned, who knows? But it was weird because he seemed to have a perfect view of this shocking incident. You know, if you see a goalkeeper flying out with his feet up there like a wrestling kick, you don't just wave play on. But that's what happened, and it's a mystery as to why. I like to think in those circumstances, a referee or the referee's people might come out with some sort of explanation, because there must be an explanation why Michael Oliver, our top referee, didn't even deem it worthy of a foul. Had he lost concentration? It was a bright sunny day. Was the sun in his eyes? All sorts of things that could possibly explain that. And if it were me, and I think, well, people obviously want to know why I did that or didn't blow for it, I'd want to explain that. There must be a reason why he didn't. He's a good referee, the top referee. So it's a mystery, but I don't suppose any explanation will be forthcoming, which is strange. But anyway, all's well that ends well. Hopefully Mateta will make a full recovery. I don't believe he'll be playing in our game at home to Ipswich on Saturday. I'm sure he won't be, but hopefully he'll be ready for the next FA Cup round, which I think it might be at the end of this month. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it was a strange game with that happening right at the beginning.
Yeah.
So we're down to the last 8, aren't we? The quarter-final of the FA Cup now. So the winners of the next round will, of course, go to Wembley, because the semi-finals are played at Wembley. Just one other element about that business with Mateta and the goalkeeper. The interesting thing is, in the previous rounds of the FA Cup, there was no VAR. On the rounds on Saturday, the last 16, there was VAR. And as I was saying to folk around me, if this had been the previous round, that wouldn't have even been given as a foul. There would be no VAR to see what actually happened. I don't know whether you saw photographs of it, but it's quite horrendous to see this goalkeeper's boot and his head. And when you watch it in real time, his head triggered backwards with the force of the kick. As I say, it could have been dreadful. Injury-wise or worse. So, but yeah, it's lucky VAR was actually being used. Otherwise, the goalkeeper would have escaped being sent off or any censure at all. So yeah, strange business.
Yeah. We talked about Michael Oliver last week, didn't we? And I said he was getting popular. Do you remember?
Yeah, you did. We did. Yeah, absolutely.
I did say he's getting popular for all the wrong reasons, but anyway, we're not going to dwell on that this week. And another thing is, and the other thing from what you've said is, I mean, Millwall, their fans, they're known to be like that, aren't they? They're always...
Yeah, I think they have a certain. It's always thought that it's known Millwall fans love to be hated. I mean, they sing some of their chants, some of their songs. Everybody hates us, and they seem to relish. They seem to relish that hatred. I mean, the truth is, I'm sure the majority of them are perfectly decent football fans. But of course, if you get a smaller number, like any group, any team's fans, if you get a small number who, they can be the loudest people that you hear these perhaps horrible things being sung and all that. But it by no means writes off, nor should it, the majority of their fans. They're just football fans like everybody else. So it's a shame that a team can be, or a team's fans can be marked downwards because of a minority. And it's a shame, really, the authorities aren't able to.
Saw family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday, so join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom, Dr.
Minority, and it's a shame, really, the authorities aren't able to clamp down, perhaps, on those who, do some homophobic chants or whatever, who are not a good advert for football. Nowadays, football, very much at most stadiums, is a family game. You see it when all the football that's on TV. You see the young kids with their parents there and so on. And it's a family sport. It's a sport loved around the world, especially the Premier League. It's in great demand. So, whereas in years gone by there have been big hooligan elements, that largely has been contained and hopefully stamped out. But it is only a minority of fans, I think, that give a bad reputation to the majority, and I suppose that's like life itself, isn't it? It's the small minority that spoil things for the majority, but such is life, I suppose.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Now, the next topic that we're going to talk about is one that sort of borders on the politics of the game. So we don't talk politics on this show, but it sort of just borders on the politics of the game, and it's from a girl called Karen Carney. So she's calling for an equal split with sponsorship deals between men's and women's football clubs. Now, she says if football brands are going to sponsor a football club, they should have to split 50-50. And I'm gathering she's referring to a football club, meaning the male version and the female version of the same football club, not generally.
Like Palace or Man United or all of them. Yeah, lots of the Premier teams have got women's teams.
Yeah, so she's saying, well, if they're sponsoring something, that's a big audience, and it shouldn't be just one type of audience. It's only fair. That's what she's saying. Now, I believe sometimes in the past we've talked about this, the fair play between the women's and the men's version of the game. Now, do you see anything right in what she's saying? We're not saying it's wrong. We're not saying it's right. We're just talking about it. But what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, a couple of things. I can understand where she's coming from. A lot of the Premier League teams, like, as I say, Manchester United, Man City, Palace, Liverpool, they've got their women's teams who, let's face it, are season by season increasing the profile of women's football, of the WSL, and it's good. I mean, they're watched by a lot more people now. Sky, screens most of their matches every other week, I think, really, rather than every week they are. So there's lots of
family and the ladies, Dr. Gladys and Phantom and Rose. We all have a lovely show every weekday. So join us for a lovely show.
Say hello to Phantom.